Hey everyone, welcome to the session today and thank you so much for attending the session. I hope all of you had a great party last night. My name is Sandeep and I work with AWS Mobile as a data scientist. Prior to this, I was working with Amazon Game Studios, leading the data science efforts in building and publishing mobile games. So what should you expect from this session today? So we'll talk about how could you easily collect, visualize, and analyze mobile app data. We'll talk about how could you quickly run ad hoc analysis and custom insights to gain deeper insights into your mobile app usage data. We'll also quickly talk about how to run and build predictive applications using your mobile app data. Let's get the presentation started with this beautiful quotation from one of the greatest physicists ever born, Lord Kelvin. It says, if you can't measure it, you can't improve it. I think this was probably said 200 years ago, but this is so relevant even in today's context. With new technologies emerging so dynamically and with customers' behavior changing so rapidly, organizations today are in need to constantly measure how users are interacting with their products or using their services in order for them to take better decisions. Today, we live in a data-driven world. Data-driven decision-making is the new normal. Gone were those days where decisions were made out of experience or gut. Today, every decision that's made is backed with data or with numbers. So in our interaction with customers, we have learned that customers use data primarily in 3 different ways to support their data-driven decision-making. The first one, or the first stage, as we call it, as retrospective stage or retrospective analysis. Here, what customers or businesses are trying to do is answer one key question, which is, what has happened in the business? They do it by analyzing data. They do it by looking for those macroscopic trends or patterns in the data. This usually takes in the form of Excel spreadsheets or reports where they're looking for those patterns. And once they get to know these patterns, what they do is they overlay this information with some of the product decisions or some of the marketing decisions that they have taken and validate if they've really worked or not. The next is inquisitive stage or inquisitive analytics. Here, what customers are trying to answer is why something has happened, or they're trying to answer or trying to analyze who their user base really is. They usually do it by diving really deep into the data and try to get a good understanding of who these users are. This usually takes place in the form of running ad hoc analysis by running SQL queries or using custom visualizations or custom visualizations. The third stage, which I personally believe is the most differentiating stage, is using predictive analytics and machine learning to differentiate themselves. In this stage, what businesses or organizations are trying to do is, till now they've learned all this good information about who their users are and how they could actually, how they're behaving in their business. And now they use this information to predict what is really happening in the business and use this to provide those personalized customer experiences. So all of us in the room today are really interested about mobile apps clearly. Some of you might have already published a mobile app, and some of you might have in the process of publishing one, or at least have it in the roadmap. So in the context of the mobile apps, what do these 3 stages really mean that we've just talked about, right? So when you publish a mobile app, you start by asking yourself, how many users use the app, or how often do they use? Next, you try to understand who your key users really are. How are they behaving in the app? Are there any particular way highly engaged users behave in the app versus users who are not really engaged? So you try to get these kind of insights in your app. Next, now that you know all of this information about your app and app usage, how do you take this information to use it to build predictive applications? This enables you as a developer to personalize and build targeted experiences for your customers rather than using a one-size-fits-all solution. So during the course of this presentation, what I would be doing is diving deep into each of the individual stages, and I'll talk about how we could help you derive a lot of value from each of these individual stages. So let's just say, right, you've built a music app, and it's a music app where customers can stream music, share music. Now you've published this app in iOS, Android, or any other platforms. When you submit your apps to these platforms, what happens is you get a very basic information from them on how many installs you are having, and probably you'll get about how much revenue you are making. But this information does not really give you a lot of insight into how your app is being used actually. So what are some of the questions that you would ask yourself or you would ask your team in order for you to gain deeper understanding or deep insights into your app? So you would first start asking yourself, like, how many users are using this app and how frequently do they use? Or how many new users am I acquiring into my music app today? Or how many times or how much time do users spend in listening to music, or how many times they actually share? So all of this information talks about how engaged your users are with the app. Next, moving to or answering questions like, how many paying users does my app have, or how much does an average paying user pay in the app? So these kind of questions will tell you if your monetization strategy is really working or not. Today, developers actually spend $1 or $2 or $3, often more than $3 for acquiring users through Facebook acquisition channels or Twitter installs. And if users who have been acquired through these channels don't stay long enough in the app, these costs really don't justify themselves. So tracking retention is one of the key metric or one of the key aspects for developers today. I was working in the games industry for a while, and this is one metric where we were really obsessed with. We constantly track how many users actually return to the app after installing and for the first time. Last but definitely not the least, we want to track and understand how people are interacting with certain features in your app. Let's say in the example of the music app we are talking, there's a feature of sharing this particular song with your friends on social media. So how many people are actually using this feature? Or if it's a game, you want to understand how people are progressing through different levels. Or if it's a news app, you want to see which categories do people really subscribe. So having insight into these kind of having insights into where users are really spending time in their app will give you a lot of insights, a lot of data around where you could improve or what features can you really focus on. So when we talked about this with our customers understand the value of this data. They know that this data is really mission critical for them to run their business on a day-to-day basis. But often they're really constrained by the fact that building a complicated analytical system which collects, processes, and aggregates this data at scale and at frequent intervals is not an easy effort. There is a lot of engineering effort that is required upfront that developers need to invest time in. So this is often one of the most talked about constraints that we've heard from customers. To address this particular pain point, last year we've launched Amazon Mobile Analytics. Amazon Mobile Analytics is a service that helps you collect, visualize, and analyze your app data easily. This is a cross-platform service that works across iOS, Android, and Fire OS. We built this service to scale along with your app and help you collect events that you really care about at scale. Once you integrate Amazon Mobile Analytics SDK into your app, you could start immediately collecting events around how customers are engaged with your app, or how customers are spending in your app, or retention metrics and custom event metrics which are very unique to your app. So we have a wide variety of customers who are using our product today, and these these customers come from different industries like games and even in apps, and even in apps they come from different genres like news apps or sports apps, weather apps. We have a wide variety of customers who are using our product today to analyze their app usage data. So here is why we think we differentiate ourselves from the rest. One, we are fast. We give you complete ownership of your data, and we provide accurate and non-sampled results to you. We enable you to access all of your app usage data within less than 60 minutes of the events that are happening in your app. With this low latency, you could actually take actionable, get actionable insights and take quick actions on the data, on your app. Let's say you're running a marketing campaign, or you're actually running you've just launched a new feature. It's often really frustrating as a developer for you to wait for days or even hours to see what is happening in the app. You quickly want to react in case there is something bad that's happening. So you want this data, you're really anxious to see this data. So we provide this data really, really quickly. Second thing is we give you access to this data completely, and you are a complete owner of this data. We don't use this data to provide any kind of industry trends or use it for any advertising purposes. This is your data, you own it. Last but definitely not the least is this: we provide non-sampled and accurate results. We process millions or even billions of events in order to provide you accurate results. So one of the key value propositions for developers, which is ironically not listed in the slide, is the cost benefit. This is a highly cost-effective solution for developers. We have a generous, large free tier where developers don't need to pay anything for the first 100 million events per month, and even after that, they just pay only $1 per million events. So this is a very, very cost-effective solution for developers, and this enables them to focus on building great apps rather than spending all of this time on building this whole complicated analytical system. Now, with Amazon Mobile Analytics SDK integrated into your app, what do you get out of the box? What happens after integrating, right? So once you've integrated our SDK into your app, you could, out of the box, get all the metrics on how many active users you have. You can get metrics on sessions, in monetization, you could get metrics on retention, on custom events or custom behavior that is very unique to your app. You could slice and dice this data by platform. You could see trends differentiated by how your app is doing in iOS versus Android. You could also submit events through API. We have powerful APIs built for you in case that is what you prefer. And we enable you to download all of this data in the form of CSVs or export all of this data to Amazon S3 and Amazon Redshift. So why don't we just take a quick demo of what this product looks like, and once you've integrated Amazon Mobile Analytics out of the box, what could you do with this product? Let me just quickly change screens and go to the demo. So here we are currently logged into Amazon Mobile Analytics console. So I've connected this mobile analytics console to the demo sample music app we have been just talking about. It's a fictitious data set that we've created for this demo. So as a developer now, I'm really interested in knowing how many daily active users do I have, or how many monthly active users do I have, or how many users. Or I'm curious to know how's my monetization strategy doing, or how my retention is doing. So this is a consolidated and a quick view where all your developers, product managers, marketeers, everybody could get a consolidated snapshot of how your app is performing. So we've selected 9 key business metrics. Most of them are metrics that you really care about to track on a frequent basis in your app. So as you could see here, you could track daily active users, monthly active users, you could track how many sessions that are happening in the app. So this is really a great consolidated view for all the different variety of folks in your organization to get a quick snapshot. Now, you're not constrained just by this tab, but you could also go to active users. You could dive deep into this, say that, hey, how many new monthly active users I have in the last 30 days or whatever the time period you are really interested. So I could quickly go and select different time periods based on my current analysis that I'm doing. So I'll just say last month, this is a trend that I could see in my app. Now what I want to do is, instead of looking at all platforms, I would just want to say, I want to look only for iOS, how iOS is behaving differently versus how Android is doing. Similarly, you have, you could go into more deeper, you could go into different metrics like sessions, you could go into metrics like revenue, you could again slice and dice the data according to your needs, change platforms, and get a quick view of what is happening. Now, in case you found this graph like super interesting, and what you wanted to do is, hey, I want to share this with the rest of my organization. So what you could do is, you could just quickly download this in the form of CSV, and you could just get it to, you could just share it across your organization in case that's required. And also, let's look at the last tab, which is the custom events tab, which is a very interesting tab. So in my music app, let's say I have I've just instrumented a custom event called items purchased, or the number of number of people who are purchasing music. So I can quickly get the count of events that are happening in this tab without having to write any SQL queries, or without having to write any additional code. So this is a great consolidated view, again, to get all of your business metrics in one place. Let's quickly switch back to our demo, the presentation. So you could get started using Amazon Mobile Analytics really easily. You could go to the link aws.amazon.com/mobile analytics, and there's great documentation out there that will help you integrate this app easily. Now let's move on to the next stage, which is the inquisitive stage. So till now we have seen how useful KPIs could be. You could get a quick view of what is happening in the business. But what KPIs really don't answer is, why is something happening in the business, or what is really causing the behavior that you have just seen. For this, you really need to dive deep into the data. You need to do some kind of custom analysis. You need to build custom visualizations and look for those patterns, or look for those intrinsic behaviors that weren't really apparent in the KPIs. So KPIs don't really tell you the complete story. They give you one side of the story, but they don't really tell you the complete story. So what are the few questions that you could start answering to understand your users better? Since we've been talking about the music app, let's just go and continue with that example. Like, who your most engaged users are, and what are their usage patterns? Like, do they use it like 3 times a day? Do they use it like 5 times a day, or 10 times? Or do they, and who is your low engaged users? Do they use it like less than once a day? And now knowing this information is so powerful, because you as a developer, what you could do is you could formulate strategies to move users from non-desired segments to desired segments. And you could also ask questions around, how does this usage pattern vary by platform, or how does it vary by country? Am I seeing user behavior differently in certain type of devices people are using, or in certain type of countries, maybe the experience is different. So understanding these kind of questions or these kind of insight will enable you as a developer to really provide custom-built experiences and take decisions that make sense. So when we talk about this to customers again, they again absolutely understand the value of this data and love to have the ability and the flexibility to really dive deep into the data. But they want to do it without having a lot of overhead in terms of engineering effort, or they want users of all technical levels to quickly answer these kind of questions without having to rely on the BI teams or on the data science teams. So early this year, we've launched this new feature called Auto Export to Redshift. Now what this feature does is we automatically export all of your app events data to Amazon Redshift. This is a fully managed service where you don't need to write any additional piece of code, or you don't need to maintain complicated data pipelines. We automatically export all of your app events data to both Amazon S3 and Redshift. With data in these in Redshift and S3, customers or developers could now use their favorite BI tools to run ad hoc analysis or run custom analysis to answer the questions that they really care about. So this feature, once you start exporting to Amazon Redshift, the schema is very simple and intuitive. We automatically export all of the standard events to Amazon Redshift. So standard events like which device the customer is using, or which locale is the customer is using the app on, or what platform, what versions, all of the standard attributes will be exported automatically to Amazon Redshift. Now, you're not again constrained by using only the standard attributes, but we allow you the flexibility to tag all the custom events that you care about. So once you tag them, we export all of those custom events into Amazon Redshift. So it's a denormalized fixed schema, which is very simple and very intuitive to use. Now, since it's a fixed schema, there's another big advantage of having data in Amazon Redshift. You could integrate really all of this app usage data with existing models like your sales data, or your marketing data, or your social media data. Having all of this data at single place enables you to correlate information easily. Let's say you're running a Facebook campaign or a social media campaign, and you want to see that the intent of the campaign was to promote a new feature. Let's say in the music app, let's say we just launched a new feature. So the intent of the campaign was to see if the feature is really to promote that feature. Now, having all of this data at one place enables you to quickly correlate if social media if the campaign is really working, and if the people have started using this feature. So once you have your data in Amazon Redshift, now customers could use their favorite BI tools, be it Tableau or Click or MicroStrategy or any of the BI tools that they are currently using to connect to Amazon Redshift. Once they connect, it's pretty easy to visualize and analyze this data. We have seen great customer use cases where customers are using unique tools like, or open source tools like R, and visualization tools like D3, which are JavaScript based. So we are seeing a wide variety of use cases where customers are using their favorite BI tools to generate insights and run custom analysis. So integration with BI tools is very simple. Amazon Redshift connects seamlessly with most of the BI tools. So once you've connected to Amazon Redshift, you could quickly build your visualizations within no time. Today, I'm really happy to tell you that you as a mobile developer could use all of your mobile app data to connect to Amazon QuickSight in order to run custom analysis. I know most of you might have already heard about Amazon QuickSight over the last 2 days. It was featured in the keynotes. But let me just take a quick step back and tell you what Amazon QuickSight is. Amazon QuickSight is a new, fast, cloud-based business intelligence service that is built in order to enable both technical and non-technical users to run quick ad hoc analysis really easily. This is a new service that we've just launched, and we've already heard great feedback from customers. Now, as a mobile developer, you could connect all of your mobile app data to Amazon QuickSight easily, and then you could start to play around and answer questions within few clicks. Now, why don't we just take a quick demo again and see how do we connect Amazon QuickSight with mobile app data and see what kind of insights we could generate. I'll just quickly switch to the demo mode again. So this is a home screen of QuickSights. So what I would do is quickly go ahead and connect the demo data that I've been using of our music app. So once you've entered your Redshift credentials, and all of your data is now in Redshift after using Amazon Auto Export to Redshift feature. Now, once you connect to that particular Redshift cluster, it shows you the list of all the tables that are there, and you could quickly connect to each of the table. So on the left-hand side, you could find all the attributes of your app. Like you could see things like what platform it is shared or what device. So every single metric or every single attribute that you have collected is visible here. Now, as a mobile developer, what am I interested in? Like I have this great tool. I've connected it to Amazon QuickSight. Now, what I want to do is quickly find, let's say, on which devices my users are really using my app on. So let me just go ahead and build this visualization really quickly. So I've just selected the device model, and there you go. Within just 1 click or 2 clicks, I'm actually able to generate insights on what devices my app is really being used on. I could clearly see that iPhone and iPad are the major devices that's being used on. I could quickly see on what devices and understand the distribution. Now, let's see what else I want to find out. I want to find out how much revenue I made it in the last 5 days or 6 days, right? So let me go ahead and build that visualization. So what I'm doing is just selecting the arrival timestamp. I'm going to change the granularity from years to days. And I'm going to select the monetization event. There you go. This quick, within few clicks, I'm able to generate easily how is my app doing in terms of monetization. So now users in your, now developers or product managers or marketers are not interdependent on anybody to find answers to these kind of questions. They could quickly go ahead and build these kind of visualizations themselves. So let's see what else I would want to do. So I want to find out, like, till now we have been seeing around what kind of what are some of the basic app usage metrics. Now, but what I want to do is really dive deep into my app usage behavior. I want to see what kind of content is really being consumed. So let me just go ahead and select what genre of music or what genre of songs people are really listening to. So I've selected. Oops. So I'm going to exclude all the people all the songs which don't have a genre yet, and I'm going to select the number of songs that have been played. So I could get a quick view of, I need to remove one of the. There you go. I could quickly get a quick composition of what content is really being used in my app. Again, to do this previously you would have relied on your BI team or on your dev team for you to get answers of these kind of questions. But now with mobile app data in Amazon Redshift and with QuickSight, you could easily do these kind of visualizations or run custom analysis. Now, what you could also do is you could share all of this data across your organization. So you build this visualization, let's say, and you want to capture it, saying, hey, this is a great visualization that I want to share across my organization. So what I'm going to do is just name it saying genre. And I could quickly share this visualization across my organization in order for them. So, and this sharing actually works in both two ways. You could share the static version of this graph in case that's what required, but you could also share the live version or the live dashboard to your team in case later they open it later, they're always seeing the most refreshed and the most recent data. So having your mobile app data in Amazon Redshift enables you as a developer to use QuickSight and run these kind of analysis really, really quickly. So let's switch back to the presentation mode again. So all of you could sign up to Amazon QuickSight at aws.amazon.com/QuickSight. It's currently under preview, but you could go ahead and sign up for the preview. It's a great tool with mobile app, with your app data in Redshift. The opportunities are limitless, and you could really answer any kind of questions that you or your team has. Now, let's move on to the last stage, which is my personal favorite stage, and the predictive stage. So, analyzing and understanding your user behavior is one side of the story. Now that you've known all of this good information about your users, how do you use this information to predict what user is going to do next? Predicting this kind of information will enable you as a developer to provide personalized experiences to developers. You don't need to really follow the one-size-fits-all solution. You could really cater to the specific needs of the user and provide contextually relevant information. So we've often heard predictive technology, predictive applications, and machine learning technology. These are the new buzzwords today. But what do they really mean in the context of a mobile app, right? And are these some really scary applications, or are these really simple and easy to build? Let's just look at a simple example again and find out. So since we've been talking about the music app, let's go ahead with that particular example. So let's say you as a developer are observing user churn. You're seeing a lot of users are leaving your app after using the app for a particular time period. Now, as a developer, you're getting to start worried about, hey, you know what? I'm losing a lot of users in the app. Now, how do I stop this? So in order for you to stop this kind of churn, what you would need to do is you need to predict users who have the high probability to leave the app. Once you know this information, or once you know which users are going to leave the app, you could use any kind of marketing you could actually send push notifications or use other marketing tactics to help and retain them in the app. But the real challenge is, how would you actually predict users with high probability? Because you don't want to send these kind of notifications to everybody. All of us know mass targeted notification annoy users really. So the challenge here is to predict these kind of predict users with really high probability to churn. So one way to do it is, you could start writing some SQL queries. You could start by looking at you could start by looking at the usage pattern of all the users in the last 30 days. You write this small SQL query, you run it, and depending upon the size of the data, it might take few minutes to run, and you get this data, and you export it to Excel or to another BI tool that you might be using, and you'll start glancing for some visible patterns in the data. But often what you find is, the usage pattern is so different on weekdays versus weekends, right? You often see that users engage more on weekends versus weekdays. So what you would do is you go back and you edit the query, you add a little more detail saying, hey, I want to first look at people who are using on weekdays versus weekends differently. So you run the query again and you follow the same process. You look for visible insights. Now, once you get this data, there is no guarantee that you would find any patterns, right? So what you would do is you would say, you know what, let me go back in time, let me add more data points to my query. So you add this particular line in your SQL statement, you run again. Again, the patterns are still not clear. There is no guarantee that you would find patterns. So what would you do is you would say, let me add more information into my query and get or add information like, which genres of app are people using, or what subscription types they're using, or which country or which device they're really using the app on. So these kind of, you could add these kind of information to your query and rerun the query again. And you know what, you still might not find any patterns clearly. So you will again start to go back in time, say, let me add more data points to this particular query again. So you could clearly see that you're trying to find this magic combination where you could get all of the things right at one go, and then you're hoping that you will be able to find some patterns which are visible to the data, visible to your naked eye. But often not, this is not possible, because first the data could be very large. The patterns could be hidden and latent. So clearly, this is not a scalable and an efficient way to do it. The scalable, this doesn't scale if you want to do it every day. You want to solve different type of problems. You want to solve more complicated problems. So the right way to approach this is to use machine learning. Using machine learning to find business rules in the data makes your lives much simpler. So what does machine learning do? Machine learning looks for those patterns in the data which will help you identify which users have high probability to take a certain action and which users don't. So in this case, using machine learning, it'll first look for patterns which helps you to classify if the users have high probability or not, and then it predicts if a new user comes, it predicts with what probability does he have to leave my app today. So there are multiple definitions of machine learning out there today. It is the buzzword that's everybody's been talking about this, but this is one of the very simple definitions that I found it really useful. It says machine learning technology automatically finds patterns in your data and uses them to predict as newer data points are available. So combining these technology with your mobile app data, you could build predictive applications and build customized and personalized experiences for your customers. So all of us know that building predictive technologies is super useful. It enables you to do so much better. But why are we not seeing so many applications today? When we talk to customers about this, what we often heard is customers don't have, or developers don't have, an army of data scientists to build these kind of models. So building predictive models used to require some kind of expertise or some kind of experience in understanding what the statistical algorithms are, picking the right technology, picking the right tool set. So it required some kind of experience and expertise previously. And building these models is one side of the coin. The real difficult part of the process is also retrieving these predictions in real time. If these predictions, building prediction or retrieving predictions in real time used to be a massive challenge for developers because it required a lot of engineering effort upfront. So, early this year, to solve the specific problem that we've just talked about, AWS launched a new service called Amazon Machine Learning. Amazon Machine Learning is a fully managed service that lets developers of any skill level build machine learning models really easily. So Amazon Machine Learning lets you build models using visualizations and interactive wizards that don't require you to actually understand all the complicated algorithm that goes behind. It uses complex statistical algorithms in order to find patterns in your data and uses it to predict as the newer data becomes available. Now, I'm really excited to tell you that you as a mobile developer can now use this, all your mobile app data and connect it with Amazon Machine Learning and build predictive applications really easily. Using auto export feature, you could now export all of your data to Redshift, and Amazon Machine Learning connects seamlessly to Redshift in order to build predictive applications on the fly. So building predictive applications with Amazon Machine Learning involves three primary stages. The first one is you train your model, you expose all of your data to the machine learning service, and it tries to find patterns in the data. The second thing is you evaluate and optimize your model. You see if the model is really working well for the particular use case that you are trying to solve. And the third one is you could retrieve predictions. In retrieving predictions, there are two options here. You could retrieve predictions both in real time or in batch mode based on the need that you currently have. So building machine learning models has never been more easy. You could just accomplish these models with few clicks and with using the visualizations and interactive wizards like this. You could connect to Amazon Redshift. You could connect to your mobile app data in Amazon Redshift using these wizards and build machine learning models really quickly. You could also use the same wizards to evaluate, explore the models. So on my screen here, this is a model evaluation for a binary classification model that's happening. In case you're not really satisfied with the model, you could really play around with the, it's an interactive wizard that I'll be quickly showing in the demo, but you could play around with the model here. You could tweak the model in order to make work for you. This tool enables you as a developer to really quickly build models without having to worry about writing large lines of code, without having to worry about maintaining this huge infrastructure in order to do this. So why don't we just take a quick demo of how to build machine learning models with Amazon Machine Learning. Let's switch to the demo mode. So currently I'm logged to Amazon Machine Learning, and for this demo purposes, I've auto-exported all the music app data that we have been discussing till now to Amazon Redshift and S3. So what I'm going to do is create a new model here. So let's say create new model. Here I could input the Redshift cluster where my data exists. I could just enter all my credentials here. But just for the purpose of this demo, I'm going to use S3 because it's slightly faster. So I've connected now to the data set that we have of the music app, and we're trying to predict churn here, users who have the high probability to churn away from the app. So it just read if the data is available or not. Here, now Amazon Machine Learning predetermines your schema. You could quickly say if the first row of the column is yes. So here you could quickly see all the features that are there in your app, in your data set, and see if they're binary, if they're numeric, or if they're categorical, or if they're a text. So what I'm going to do is go ahead. Oh, before that, what I need to do is I need to tell Amazon Machine Learning what is a variable that I'm really trying to predict. So in this case, what I'm trying to predict is churn. So I'm going to go ahead and click churn as my target variable. Do I have row identifiers? Yes, I do have row identifiers in my data. So I'm going to say unique ID is my row identifier in the data. So here we are at the final stage of connecting Amazon Machine Learning to your mobile app data in Redshift. Let's just go ahead and say continue. It does a quick verification of if it has all the necessary information. So now I'm in the second stage of actually building the model itself. So if you could see on the screen here, it says the model type is binary. Since we are predicting churn, it's a binary classification. So the service automatically detected that you are trying to do a classification model here. So I would go ahead and say this right. I'll say review. And if you could actually see, if you really care about what model settings it's going to use, so it's using at the bottom of the screen, you could see it's using an L2 regularization to optimize the model here. So again, you don't need to worry about all of this, but in case you're interested, there's a lot of details that you could tweak in the model settings itself. So let's just go ahead and say finish. So that's it. You've started building your first machine learning model. It literally took like few clicks for you to start building this model. It is literally as simple as this. Now let's go ahead and actually look at a model that I've run yesterday to save some time in this demo. So, sorry, picked up the wrong. Yep. So once the machine learning is connected to your data source, you could quickly go ahead and look at the distributions of your data set. Does this distribution make sense? And if you want to transform your data, you could transform your data by saying, hey, there's a lot of missing values. You could do a lot of data treatment right in the visualization tools here. So all of this could be really accomplished without you having to leave this dashboard or without having you to write any additional code. So let's look at what the output will look like. Again, I have pre-built this model yesterday just to save some time. So here you go. This is the output that I've got from the model that I built yesterday. What it is telling me is these are the unique IDs, or these are the users who have a high probability to churn. So 1 is churn, and 0 means people who are not churning. So having this information at your hand, now what you could do is you could send them push notifications saying, giving them some kind of discounts or incentives for them to really stay back in the game, stay back in the app. So building machine learning models or predictive applications has never been easy for mobile developers before. Let's just switch back to the presentation mode again. So we've just built a churn model, but what else could you do, right? In your app, you could obviously predict churn. You could predict which users are going to buy or purchase in-app items in the app. you could predict if the users are going to do a particular action, like are they going to share something in the app, or are they going to use a particular feature or not. You could also use these to recommend relevant and contextual content to your users. So the opportunities are pretty much endless. It depends on your particular use case, your particular genre of the app, and what you're trying to solve. But building machine learning models is so easy with Amazon Mobile Analytics data in Redshift now. You could really seamlessly connect it to Amazon Machine Learning. So you could get started by Amazon Machine Learning at the following site. So let's take a step back and quickly see what have we talked about and what have we learned today. We've learned that integrating Amazon Mobile Analytics SDK into your app, you could quickly start to collect all your mobile app events. You could easily access business metrics that you care about on your business at a regular cadence. Now, with auto export feature, you could export all of the data to Amazon Redshift. This is really a powerful feature which enables developers to do so many different things in the app. Now, using QuickSight, as we have seen, we could quickly dive deep into your app data. You could get deeper insights about your users. You could get deeper insights into your app usage. And now also we have seen that you could connect Amazon Machine Learning to Amazon Redshift, and you could build predictive applications on the fly. We've just built a predictive application on the stage in less than 10 minutes. So it's literally as simple as that. So how do you get started on using mobile analytics? So visit the AWS Mobile Hub. You could add app analytics to your project right there. So Mobile Hub is a new experience that we've just released for mobile developers, where so just visit AWS Mobile Hub, add app analytics to your project, and download your iOS or source code right from there. Thank you so much for attending the session today. If you have any further questions, please email us at amazon-mobile-analytics@amazon.com. We're really looking forward to hearing from you, and we're really looking forward to see the great apps that you guys are going to build ahead. Thank you so much.